Welcome to the Steam cellar where hidden gems hide in the shadows. Today, we dig up the remains of what was once a legendary franchise. A franchise that taught us parkour, swordplay, and let's be honest, the art of rewinding all our terrible decisions. But instead of the crown jewel we hold for, Evil Empire and Ubisoft gives us the rouge. It's not a gem. It's a cubic zirconia that thinks it's a diamond. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm going to be as based as humanly possible here. Why? Because I remember the majesty of the franchise in its prime and watching yet another nail being driven into the coffin of my beloved Prince of Persia is nothing short of heartbreaking. And for sure, check out how this piece of sand only tries, to be Dead Cells. And I remember Prince of Persia, The Sands of Time. The prince was the hero of the mystical Persian fairy tale. Everything around him, the architecture, the lighting, even the sand, was crafted to immerse you in an ancient magical world. The visuals whispered, "Look at me and bask in my legendary presence." Sand wasn't just decoration, it was part of the game's soul. Then came Warrior Within, where darkness crept into the tale. The Persian fantasy turned brutal, the prince became a hardened warrior, and female characters embraced, let's say, liberal interpretations of ancient wardrobe choices. The Dahaka, a terrifying manifestation of fate lurking in every shadow. These games had their own identity. And now we arrive at the Rouge, and I desperately want to forget what I saw. The first reveal: the prince was purple. Purple! I get the ancient Persian medicine wasn't exactly top tier, but are we really looking at a Persia suffering from cyanosis? Was he suffocating his kingdom? Was this a stealth hospital scene? Prince, you have a severe lack of oxygen. Take a deep breath before your next combat. After an outcry from the fans, the developers mercifully toned it down. Is it perfect now? No. But compared to the initial reveal, it's the Mona Lisa. What they didn't fix, however, is his entire personality. The priest doesn't feel like a warrior. He feels like an influencer on a spiritual journey, looking for the best rooftop chai stand. Then there is world itself. The environment, just a colorful blur of more is more. Instead of immersing you in Persian mythology, the screens bombard you with an avalanche of colors. Purple. More purple to the god of purple. Do you think it's enough purple? No, more purple. Companions, the most generic character designs imaginable. Moving on, because there is nothing to discuss really here. Bosses, I remember them only by colors alone. Very red guy, blue with tentacles guy, flying god, and Mr. Black weapon. Regular enemies, color code 2. Blue, red, and oh look, it's Half-Life Barnacle hanging out in Persian Garden. I have more questions than answers. The Lost Crown, for all of its issues, at least had a style. This feels like a Dead Cell fan mode that didn't quite understand what made the cells visually unique in the first place. Two things haunt me from this game: footsteps and Persian underground rap. Both for all the wrong reasons. The footsteps never stop. Ever. The echo endlessly, even during the rare peaceful moments, loading screens. Think again. Step, step, step. It's like an internal metronome of the madness. Then there's the rap soundtrack, which is neither immersive nor exciting. It doesn't fuel the action, it just exists, like background music from a discount mobile game AD. Instead of feeling like a legendary warrior, I feel like I walked into the wrong playlist. The sound design doesn't enhance the game, it fights against it. No tension, no atmosphere, just loud, relentless noise. Verdict? Mute the game and stop terrifying my ears, please. Coming to the gameplay. First off, it's an early access, so things can evolve. But as of February 2025, here's what stood out. Both the familiar and the frustratingly unnecessary innovations. Evil Empire clearly borrowed from Dead Cells, which isn't inherently bad. Here's what they copied. Runs and hub system. Start in the hub, pick a path, unlock perks and weapons. Route variations. Your choices shape your run. Weapons and perks unlocks. Find and keep them forever. Mana and gems for upgrades. Classic roguelite economy. Combat variety. Primary, secondary weapons, melee, ranged. Acrobatics. Wall running and high-speed movement. Thought not game-changing. Rifts and dodging damage. And ice touch. Unnecessary innovations that nobody asked for. Boring, boring, boring NPCs in a hub. Talk, unlock stuff, immediately forget they exist. Minimal health upgrades, runs lag the needed power curve. No weapons upgrade without a max HP penalty. Who thought it was fun, really? Useless secondary weapons. 95% garbage. Bow and throwable weapons poorly pass. Perks feel like math homework. Plus X percentage to Y percentage stat rather than playstyle changing effects. Yes, acrobatics exists, but why? They add little beyond aesthetics. It's really baffling. The same team that perfected Dead Cells built a weaker version of it here. Yes, Dead Cells started strong and got better. The Rouge feels like a downgrade in core design rather than a foundation for greatness. But where's the light in this tunnel? Two mechanics I found actually shine. Mind-based system adds strategic depth to run, making choices feel meaningful, and here the story starts to work a bit. Tentacle Chase Sequences. A fresh, genuinely thrilling moments where you race to save a girl from a dark entity. Loved it, but saw it only 5-6 times in 8 hours. Needed way more. And Metroidvania and parkour moments for this challenge is quite good, really, it's enjoy. And final thoughts around the gameplay. Evil Empire can fix repeated platforming, story snippets, level variety, and weapon balance. But right now, it lacks the core strength that made Dead Cells great. The potential is here, but will it climb the walls to success, or sand of time erases it from your mind? We'll see. As with everything else, early access means that could be improved. But as of now, the prince is running, but sometimes not fast enough. Plus, I lost 2 hours of progression. I played more on a Steam Deck, starts off at 40-50 FPS, but after 30 plus minutes, the frame rate starts slipping down at 30-40, as if game itself is getting exhausted mid-run. Why? No clue, but it's consistent. On a PC, laptop runs fine overall, through loading screens take longer than expected. Especially the one where you get to enjoy the soothing, never-ending sound of footsteps. Summary: playable, but not perfect. See you next update. And we are coming to the final thoughts. Prince of Persia: The Rouge isn't the glorious comeback fans of the franchise deserved. It's a Rouge-like identity crisis with a Persian coat of paint. It borrows from the Dead Cells, but instead of refining the formula, it adds needless complications that weight it down like sandbags on the prince's boots. Visually, overloaded with colors, but empty in atmosphere completely. Sound? Footsteps haunt my dreams, and the rap soundtrack makes me question my life choices. Gameplay, a weaker version of Dead Cells with some cool ideas buried under questionable design choices. Ubisoft and Evil Empire can fix it, but will they? Will the game run the world to greatness or fall into the abyss of forgotten Ubisoft experiments? For now, it's not a lost crown, but it's dangerously close to becoming one. If you're considering buying it, wait for a discount. Thought honestly, you can skip this one without missing much. Have a good game and see you soon.